and it's going to burn you.
Oh, excuse me, was that a bat flip? Don't do that again, thank you.
That's a high fastball. He gets every...
I don't feel good now, just don't do that again.
Who's filling in for Votto, and how about...
What's going on, guys? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another baseball video. Today, what we're going to be talking about is the topic that seems to be at the center of baseball in 2019. The shirt that I am wearing is perfect for today's video because if you guys take a look, the motto for 2019 is hashtag let the kids play. So what does that mean? That means bat flips, that means smiling, that means having as much fun as humanly possible because if we're being honest, NBA and the NFL, they've done it right. There's a reason why if you go to the neighborhood grocery store, you say, who's Tom Brady? Anyone in that store is going to be able to let you know. Same with LeBron James. But if you go to that same grocery store and say, hey, do you know who Bryce Harper is? You might not know, and he's kind of the face of baseball. It's him and Mike Trout. I think Mike Trout is the best player, but Bryce Harper, in my opinion, is the most known, and I think he only has a couple million followers as opposed to LeBron James, almost 50. What I plan on doing in this video is I'm going to try and convince all of you naysayers out there that are pretty much saying that bat flips are ruining the game. We have to go back and play like Ty Cobb and Pete Rose and only be contact hitters because if we think about it, what causes bat flips? Home runs. And what are we doing right now in 2019? We're on pace to set a record for most home runs hit by hitters in a single season by almost 500 home runs. That's a lot. So before you guys go crazy and say that Fuzzy, you're just a kid, I appreciate the effort, but you were completely wrong. We are gonna go down the list as to why I think home runs and bat flips have a chance of saving baseball because, again, it's not the most popular sport in the world. It's my favorite sport, but if we look at the stats, I mean, you only really care about your one team, and that's it. So we're gonna jump into everything in just a second, okay? I'm not gonna leave any stone unturned, but I need you guys to give me some time because the reason why I started thinking of this idea is because I heard Pete Rose talking about baseball and the fact that he doesn't like today's game.
Do you like baseball the way it is right now?
No, not at all. I mean, there ain't nobody playing baseball today on a roster that don't have at least one home run. The ball is fly out of these balls.
Would you try to hit home runs if you were a player today?
No, I try to hit the ball hard like I did because line drives are going to go out of the ballpark.
Right.
All you're doing dropping the back shoulders, you're trying to get a tape measure home run.
Alright, so you guys might be a little bit confused, but the reason why I chose the title of this video that bat flips are ruining baseball is because home runs plus bat flips equals angry Pete Rose. And he does have a fairly good point. There's not very many Ichiros in baseball anymore. The biggest examples that I can provide you guys are Ketel Marte of the Arizona Diamondbacks and Tommy La Stella of the Los Angeles Angels because these guys, before 2019, I didn't even know that these dudes could hit more than 3 home runs in a single season, let alone almost 20 before the All-Star break. If you guys missed it, just a few days ago, the Diamondbacks faced off against the Philadelphia Phillies, and they set a major lead record. I'm not talking about franchise record. I'm not talking about a record this season. I'm talking about since Abner Doubleday stepped on a field and said, hey, I'm going to use this baseball to throw curveballs, and I'm going to call this game baseball. Since then, Diamondbacks and the Phillies combined for 13 home runs. One player that got in on the home run action was Ketel Marte, who was almost up to 20 home runs before the All-Star break. Now, if we go back to his 2014 to 2017 season, so we're talking 14, 15, 16, 17, that's 4 complete seasons, Ketel Marte had 8 home runs. The second example that I have to provide you guys is a man named Tommy La Stella. So I used to make fun of this guy because he was known for being a pretty decent player. He could play everywhere, but he could not hit a home run. Well, guess what's happening in 2019? He has become a legit power threat. At this point in time, he has 15 home runs, a .529 slugging percentage. So remember, keep that in mind. 15 home runs this year alone in almost 60 games. Now, if we kind of give you the beans, from 2014 to 2018, that's 5 seasons, Tommy La Stella had 10 home runs. And what does more home runs mean? More bat flips. So I just wanted to give you guys the stats because there's more that we're going to talk about in terms of these statistics and how hard baseballs are being hit. We have launch angles, we have fly ball rates, everything like that. Everything is on the rise. But the main reason why is because if you're a contact hitter, you are not going to get paid. If we take a look at this graphic in terms of the highest paid baseball players in America right now, what is the common trend? they're all home run hitters. Although that Nick Markakis is a pretty good player, you do not see him in the top 15 top paid baseball players because, again, even though you're getting 190 base hits a season, if you're not hitting 25 to 30 home runs, it's going to be hard to get that upper echelon money. So what are these people doing? They're putting on weight, they're swinging up. They're taking the Justin Turner and Cody Bellinger kind of Dodgers approach of swinging up on the baseball as opposed to the Albert Pujols swinging down, swinging level. And what's even more fun to watch is when you get a guy like Derek Dietrich, who is not known for hitting home runs, pimping an absolute no-doubter off Chris Archer. I'm going to tune in to his next at-bat, whereas before I would never even think about it. So put that into perspective. If he hits a double, I don't care. If he hits a home run, I'm going to watch it, and I'm not a Reds fan. So in my opinion, it's kind of a win-win if you're going to hit more home runs because Derek Dietrich is now going to set himself up for a home run derby invite. He might even make the all-star team. And guess what? As a fan, I am now prone to go watch a Derek Dietrich at bat because baseball is a whole lot different than NBA and NFL because there's so many more games. So really, you have a one-track mind. I'm an Indians fan, so on a daily basis, I'm really only going to watch Indians games. I don't care about the Padres. I don't care about the Red Sox. I'm going to watch my Indians. I'm going to go to work, and then I'm going to do the same thing over again. So I'm not really paying attention to all these different guys. But if I'm seeing random people like Tim Beckham and Derek Dietrich hitting bombs and then pipping them, I'm going to tune in more often to Mariners games. I'm going to tune in more often to Reds games. So the Let the Kids Play hashtag is going to save baseball. I know that you guys might not want to hear that. All of you guys that are maybe 40, 50, 60, 30 years old, if you're used to old-time baseball, I'm sorry to say, but I mean, I'm sorry. Home runs are up 17.5% in 2019. The record was set in 2017. So again, as the years progress, there's going to be more and more and more home runs. There's going to be more bat flips. A lot of people saying that the balls are now juiced. I'm not even really sure what that means because Commissioner Manfred has come out and said that the baseballs have not been altered. Now, there's some speculation that the inside of the baseball is now made of rubber as opposed to cork, and also that the seams are a whole lot closer to the baseball, so that's why there's more blisters. And apparently, when you have lower seams, the ball travels farther, so that could be a factor as to why there's more home runs. But again, I'm fine with that. You know why I'm fine with that? Everyone says that baseball sucked until the steroid era. My entire life, I've heard grown-ups talk about how fun it was to watch Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds, Rafael Palmeiro, Juan Gonzalez hit mammoth home runs 600 feet and watch these guys duke it out for home run races. And I'm gonna be honest, now that I'm older, I can see why that is. So it just doesn't make sense when I hear people talking about, I'm not gonna watch baseball now because yes, I love home runs, but I don't like pimping home runs because we have to respect the guys that played 7 years ago. And I just don't get that. It's 2019. Get with the times. So I brought all of this up because there's actually some evidence from the past that proves my point that home runs equals more attention to the game of baseball. Back in the day, there was a slogan called Chicks Dig the Long Ball. The commercial is pretty simple. It's one of my favorite commercials of all time. We have Mark McGwire in the batting cage, and all of the women, all of the fans are taking pictures of him. They want to try and meet Mark McGwire. On the outsides, we have Greg Maddux and Tom Glavine. They're not getting any attention. So what do? They hit the weight room. They avoid the steroids. I'm not talking about steroids as the reason why baseball was saved, but what saved baseball was home runs. And guess what? They're not wrong. Chicks do dig the long ball because you make more money.
Seen Mark?
So let's kind of recap everything that I've said. I've indicated that home runs are up 17.5% in 2019. What does that mean? With more home runs comes more bat flips. With more bat flips comes more retweets. With more retweets comes more interactions. More people every single day seeing random players. I mean, let's be honest, Derek Dietrich before 2019 started, no one cared about him. Literally, no one cared about Dietrich on the Reds. But now that he has proven that he can pimp a home run, I mean, he's a household name, in baseball at least. And now he's going to get even more money the next time that he's up for a contract. I don't understand how bat flips can ruin baseball. If anything, it's gonna keep building and building and building. MLB is gonna keep on getting followers and views. I'm gonna keep on getting my MLB recap views. More kids are gonna try and develop a home run swing. Now again, I understand that there are contact hitters, like I'm 5'9", I should not be trying to hit a 500-foot home run. So again, there's give and take to anything. But even Jose Altuve Altuve has pimped some home runs. Little guys do it too. Big guys, I'm telling you, the more bat flips we see, the more home runs that are hit. I mean, pitchers are not really affected by this all too much. I mean, unless you're the Baltimore Orioles, who seems to give up 10 home runs a day, you're still doing fairly decent. Luis Castillo, he plays in a hitter-friendly ballpark. I think he has a sub-2 ERA, or maybe right around that. I mean, it's just, stop complaining. If you give up a home run, put your head down, strike out the next hitter. If you hit a home run, pimp it. What's wrong with that? Maybe I'm just ranting at this point, but I'm just trying to give you guys the cold hard facts that really just support my argument that bat flips are really good for baseball. Home runs are great for baseball. Who wants to watch a pitcher's duel into the 14th inning? It's just no one wants to see that. So it's not a dig at pitchers to say that we don't want to see 0-0s every single game. We want to see home runs. We want to see doubles in the gap. We want to see triples. We want to see baseballs leave the yard because that gets people on their feet. It gets people in the seats, and it's just... Chicks did the long ball, man. So before you guys go, I'm going to give you a little bit more of stats behind my argument. So I'm going to get a little bit nerdy right now. So in 2017, this was the year that the home run record was broken. The average exit velocity was 102.8 miles an hour. That's really hard. You were hitting the baseball square on the barrel if you're hitting it that hard. In 2019, it has jumped up to 103.7 miles an hour. It went from 102.8 to 103.7. That is going to make a difference, especially if you're playing at Coors Field or Yankee Stadium. Another thing that we have to look at is the fly ball percentage. So in 2015, 4 years ago, the fly ball percentage was 33.8%. So a decent amount of them were hit up in the air. In 2019, it's gone up 2% to 35.8. So again, the stats do not lie. More home runs are going to be hit every single year going forward. There are so many home runs being hit, and it's a little warm outside, that I've heard commentators while watching a baseball game say, hey, you know what? The baseballs are juiced, and global warming is causing these baseballs to leave the yard. I don't care what's causing these baseballs to leave the yard. I just ordered Derek Dietrich's jersey. I somewhat care about the Cincinnati Reds now, when really, I've said this before in the video, baseball is a very singular sport. People tend to care about their team, and that's it. Once their team is out of the playoffs, they stop watching baseball. But I'm telling you, even though the Orioles might be out of the playoff race, all you Orioles fans are retweeting and liking every bat flip that you guys might have a chance to see. And if you're not, you're just not part of it. I'm sorry. So I know that this video might ruffle a few feathers, but I feel like I backed myself up fairly well. I tried to provide hardcore stats as to why I think that this is going to be a trend going forward. The stats are behind me. We showed that during the steroid era, baseball was saved. Tom Glavine and Greg Maddux even admitted that chicks dig the long ball. I mean, that's a motto for a reason. I'm not going to dissuade from it. I think that bat flips are here to stay, and I'm standing behind them. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you guys did enjoy. If you disagree with me, let me know in the comment section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Whew, we were yelling at this one, but like the shirt said, let the kids play.